And what
We're doing
type
more
of
at the
threat-
same time.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
What threat level is Berlanga to Canelo? Between 1 and 2.
Berlanga is a very talented young fighter. He's undefeated. He hasn't learned how to lose. He's a terrific fighter. He's only getting better. He has shown the ability to learn, the ability to grow, the ability to, when he gets more seasoning, which he has his last few fights, he's shown that improvement. He's on the right path. There's no doubt about it. I just don't know if he's got enough seasoning now to beat Canelo. I put him in the same way as Munguia. Munguia had more fights, I get it, but he didn't have that level of fights on that stage to really deal with Canelo. He had a lot of fights, and I love Munguia. The way he handles himself, everything. The way he handles himself before, after fights, what he does in the ring, the heart, the chin, everything. But I felt that he did not go into the Canelo fight. Munguia just didn't have enough experience. And that's part of the reason I felt Canelo's people felt comfortable picking him quite fast. Nothing against Canelo. I mean, you got to be smart. You know, that's part of the game. You manage. So especially if you're the golden boy and you have the ability to pick your spots because you bring the money. So obviously you're going to have the power to do that, where someone else can't do that because they don't bring the money, they don't bring the pay-per-view, they don't bring what Canelo brings. So he's earned that, but that's a fact. And I believe that Berlanga's in the same, sort of the same boat, where he has improved. Munguia had improved, but he still needed a few more fights at that level to season him enough to handle a guy like Canelo, that experience. And I think that Berlanga still needs a little more. Still, but you know what? There's one X factor. Canelo's a little older now. And that's the one thing that he's battling against. You know, there's a tiny bit of slippage. There is, if you're going to be honest, a little bit. But look, he's still terrific, Canelo. But nobody wins 100% of the time against Father Time. Sooner or later, Father Time gets you. And I don't know where Canelo is in that battle yet, but I know he's getting there. And maybe that he's gotten a little older since the Munguia fight. That could play for Berlanga where he gets old. Because there will be a day if he stays around long enough where you say, oh, wow, he got old. Like as you're watching it, you say, wow, he got old. Wow. He really did. And so I don't know if that day's coming, but aside from that, I don't think it's here yet. Aside from that, I have to like Canelo again because same thing. Berlanga, I think, just needs a little bit more seasoning. A little more time.
You know, some of the fans are upset with him and they're claiming they're going to boycott Canelo Berlanga, but he's going head up against UFC Noche. How do you think that's going to affect?
You know, he is going head up, and I'm a little confused by it. I'll tell you why. We know Canelo does good numbers, and we understand all that. But it doesn't seem like anybody beats UFC. And you always got to put the proof to what you say. All I say is this: do we forget a couple years ago where Canelo and them actually waited and actually put back the time they came out? They were supposed to come out about an hour earlier, and they actually put it back because they didn't want to go against UFC.
Nate Diaz-Mas with the one.
Right.
Yeah, the baddest mother ever.
Right. Yeah. I didn't forget that. Did Canelo's people forget that? I don't know. But I didn't forget that. You conceded that you weren't going to go against you. You were there. It was the same night, and you had to wait because somebody whispered in your ear, hey, we ain't going to get an audience we want to get if we go on now because they're watching UFC.
They played it in the stadium.
So I'm just a little, So I'm a little confused. Everyone does things for different, motivations. Some of the right ones, some of the wrong ones. But I'm confused that they would go up against that horse against. They raced against that horse once, and they didn't do that well. They didn't come in the money. So I'm just a little confused that they're going, maybe it's ego, maybe it's like now we don't, whatever it is. But it's going to be curious to see, isn't it? That if they getting ready to come in the ring and then all of a sudden they say, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to we're gonna do a little dance and song act now, because we have to wait a little while until the UFC has passed by. I don't know.